Right.
That's what we're calling on you to do.
Okay, my bad. I got you. Okay, so sorry for the mix up. I don't believe the teacher should mention anything about race to students. No matter how well-intentioned it might be, the outcome will always be negative. We would have to question if the system itself is so racist, why would you want that same system to teach your children about race? Schools should teach children about the importance of ownership, creating ideas and manifesting them into reality. It should be up to the parents to speak to their children about race if and when they decide to. Every mainstream that is painting itself helpful to the Black community or about race in general from the media has been full of propaganda, and it's hard to say that critical race theory isn't more the same. It excludes all Black history that doesn't agree with the oppressed narrative. Critical race theory will teach you about Barack Obama and Martin Luther King, but it will not teach you about Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell, or Walter Williams, which is the equivalent of teaching about Biggie without Tupac. If the mission of critical race theory is to teach Black children, which should just be included as American history, then I would support that. But it seems to me the teaching of race is placing children into groups of oppressor versus oppressed, and he's making white children have collective guilt. To quote Carter G. Woodson from The Miseducation of the Negro, to handicap a student by teaching him that his Blackface is a curse to his struggle and that changing his condition is hopeless is the worst sort of lynching. That quote was from 1933. And here we are in 2022 telling children that their race has an outcome on what they can be in life, and we all know that isn't true. Real education is meant to inspire people to live more abundantly and to learn no matter where you start life that you can make it better. The fifth largest school district in Clark County, when the fifth largest school district in America, Clark County, decided to lower its testing standards to alleviate disparities in outcomes. If that's happening in large school districts, you can only imagine what's happening in school districts under extreme poverty. I personally have 50 friends that have been murdered and another 50 that have been in jail for violent crimes. Teaching children about race isn't going to solve kids having to go to school writing RIP on their lockers. However, school choice could help curb that problem. In order for a school curriculum to be based around race and white privilege, you would have to show some proof that racial disparities are holding a certain group back. And to quote Barack Obama, children that grow up without fathers are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and to commit a crime and 9 times more likely to end up in prison. If school really wants to teach history, it should be done without a liberal bias. We should hear stories of Napoleon Bonaparte Drew, Frederick Douglass, Manning Johnson, Booker T. Washington, Ida B. Wells, Madam C.J. Walker, and so many more. But all of these Black individuals are excluded from history because they all were able to overcome obstacles and never accepted the status of victimhood. To close, I would like to quote Booker T. Washington, who was an actual slave. There is another class of colored people. I'm sorry.
Oh, got 1 minute left.
Okay. To quote Booker T. Washington, there is another class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Having learned that they are able to make a living out of these troubles, they have grown into settled habits of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose their grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Now, is there anybody who would like to ask Johnny a question through me? Remember, Mr. Chair. Any questions? Going once?
Mr. Chair, hi. I would like to ask, as a public school teacher, where this is occurring that Frederick Douglass is not taught, because most school systems have to teach the narrative and the life of Frederick Douglass. And in that narrative, he specifically speaks about how he learned about his own oppression through reading. So I'm just interested in where that particular information is coming from.
Johnny, would you like to respond?
Yes, sir. So I would say that particular information to you, sir, about Frederick Douglass, which one of my favorite quotes is, once you learn to read, you will forever be free, and knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. The school system teaches you to look at life through a victimhood mindset. If you went through life knowing that Booker T. Washington was an actual slave, but his college still stands today, then you have a more beautiful outlook on life. If we were taught that after the Emancipation Proclamation, there was 4,047 millionaires in America and 6 of them were Black, then we have an optimistic hope of life. But school, which working at a private school for the last 6 years and my children now attending charter school, it teaches no matter what you do as a Black American, you can get 4.0 at the best high school, middle school, and college, and you're still taught to view yourself as a second-class citizen, or there's some white person that can stop you. And we all know that Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, none of them ever had an oppressed mindset. So to teach children that there is someone that stop you in 2022 is immediately counterproductive. And I mean, we're sitting here in Black History Month, when in reality, we should have Black Future Month. Like, we got to stop looking backwards and understand that this matrix that we're in, we need new concepts. I respect Martin, Malcolm, and what they did, but we need new Black leaders to come up with new ideas, because what we've been doing isn't working.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Just to